All right, in my last ancient coin video, I talked about not buying plastic, and in that was several clips taken from episode 32 of the Ancient Coin podcast on YouTube with Mike Nodelman and Aaron Burt. And while I was going through that episode 32, there was a little bit in there where they talk about upgrading coins, and it just so happens that's the process I'm in right now. And I thought this was kind of interesting in this Greek Coins and Their Values by David R. Sear, Volume 1, that Aaron sent me. It has this nice ancient alphabets. And so this coin I'm looking at has Aramaic lettering. And so you can check it to the English alphabet. And I found some other information on these I'll go over here in a bit, but the coin that I'm looking at upgrading is this, which this side of the coin is... Alright, so back to what I was saying. This coin is what I'm looking to upgrade. This side here is what I bought this coin for, and it is a beautiful example of this coin. But the other side of this coin has a few issues, and I think the die was just a bit wore out when it was struck. It's actually got some really good detail still in areas, but it's missing some high points. The nose is flattened out there, on the chest there, along the stomach there. It looks like, either the die was probably wore out there when it was struck, because everything else looks to be like the grain of wheat and the bunch of grapes, and a lot of it is still in good condition, but it's just a little wore out in areas. Could be better, but overall, it's still a very nice coin. But the reason I'm looking to upgrade was because of there's a little bit of artwork missing here that should be there. There's some in the face. The nose is flattened out there. So there's some issues here with this coin, and that's what I'm looking to upgrade with this newer coin. But this side is just, it's going to be hard to beat this side. I'm really not beating this side. But yeah, anyway, so let's get into a clip here from the Ancient Coin podcast.
Yeah, and also I have a lot of clients that have sets, and they're like, okay, well, that's an upgrade on this coin, so I'm going to buy this one and swap it out. And so they have the whole collection finished, but they're working on quality after that.
Right.
So
what's your feeling on the upgrading?
Oh, I think it's really good to do upgrading. Absolutely.
Okay. See, because in a modern world, it's something that I actually advise against. That is really difficult because, you're going to have to sell a coin in order to upgrade it. and
Right.
you paid retail for it. You're not going to get retail when you sell it. So you're going to lose
Right.
selling the coin. Then you're going to pay retail again for the next coin. That's all I'm saying is that's why I think upgrading in modern sense doesn't make anywhere near as much sense because the coins are out there.
Yeah, it's I think that it's kind of a secondary thing with a lot of ancient people. They'll say to me, I have my sets completed, but there are some coins that I would be a lot happier if I upgraded. And so when ones come along that fit that bill, they're happy to trade them out, because when they go to show that collection, and especially like, let's say a 12 Caesar set, and let's say your Claudius is corroded, but it was the only Claudius you could afford at the time. And maybe it took you 5 years or longer to put the set together. Okay, depending on when you were making money and things like that. And so, or when you had disposable income for this hobby. And so then a Claudius comes up that's fantastic, and they're like, oh, this is a great opportunity for me to upgrade that coin. And now I still have a Claudius that it's corroded, but it's going to be really good for somebody else to buy that for me, because that's going to fill their hole, or it's going to complete their stuff because that's the quality that they can afford.
Right.
So there's always going to be a desire where certain coins that will be easy to move, and you may still make money depending on how long ago you bought the coin.
Yeah.
So I still think that it's possible. I just think
mean,
that,
look, you're always going to want to put forth the best set that you possibly can, right? That's the whole idea, is you want to build the sweetest collection that you possibly can. But be
Correct.
careful with upgrading, because if the coin is readily available and it's just a matter of waiting it out, sometimes it's better to wait. But that's a modern thing, not an ancient thing.
If you're just buying one-off coins, then that, of course, do that. But
Right.
if you're actually putting together a set, that's different.
Yeah.
There's a difference between putting together sets, and it's easier to put together sets with US coins than it is with ancient coins.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And so with ancient coins, you can say, well, is there a set of Greek coins? Not really. Can you say, well, I want to collect all the mints of Alexander the Great? Okay, that's fine. But it's most of the time people collect Greek coins like, okay, I want one from Aegina, I want from Corinth, I want one from Alexander, I want in Athens. It's a very mixed bag of
Right.
what people want, unless you focus on a specific city. And now you're going to have to say, well, if I'm going to collect a city, am I going to do it all in silver? Do they have gold? Am I going to do it all in bronze? Do I want both silver and bronze? Because I want everything that city did. So, it's, and then at that point you can hold out for the best pieces that you're looking for, because they're just one-offs, in that situation.
Right.
But when you're building a set, the filler idea becomes a little bit more tangible.
Sure.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
So
and I can see where
makes more sense.
it definitely, you buy the bronze coin and put a nice bronze in there, because, even when you do find the silver coin for it, that bronze is going to be a nice coin, and it's going to be well worth keeping.
Right. Well, and it also depends on how you're collecting. If it feels good to be able to complete a set with a coin maybe that you wouldn't necessarily love to buy, but you may lose some money on, it's not the end of the world, because you're not doing this to make money necessarily. You're doing it because it's a hobby.
Right.
And there's a lot of guys out there that aren't millionaires, or even, don't even make $100,000 a year, that do this hobby, can buy coins that are $20 to $50 and do have lots of happiness. And yeah, they're not going to make money, but they've got a lot of wealth of knowledge and appreciation for the hobby. And so that goes a lot farther.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've still profited from the hobby. I mean, that's
yeah,
it's good for you.
So, people losing money on specific ancient coins because they're buying the bottom of the barrel, I'm okay with, because they're not doing it to make money. They're doing it just to have fun.
Hey guys, sorry I don't have time to get to my studio setup here. I want to go through some comps on this coin. I'm looking at a different one, but here's some examples. We got one for 28.41, and as you can see, it's pretty nice. pretty nice coin. It's missing a little bit of his face, his nose, a little tore there. Good feathers here in the eagle. But down here, it's not showing. There we go. The feet of the chair there kind of wore off, and his leg. And the lion is missing some or the bull is missing some detail. But not bad. 2,800. And we got this one, 1,500. Pretty wore down on the face. Kind of messed up strike on the back. The next one is at 26. And as you can see, its face is kind of splurged there, and we're missing some detail in the face there. It's kind of, the dye's kind of wore out, and looks to be some stuff stuck on there still, but not too bad. Good, pretty good coin in other ways. 2,600. Got one here for 2,300. This is probably the nicest one, but again, you're missing it's just kind of melted together a little bit there. That dye is wore out, and you're missing some detail on the bull face and neck, and you're starting to get that oh, I can't think of what you call it right now, but bleed or whatever it is. So that one was at 2,300. There's one for 2,700. That's pretty not bad, just missing some detail in the face. And the back's very nice as well. It's not a bad coin. It was 29, now 27. A little bit of problem here. A little bit of problem here. Little problem here. Got a few problems, not much detail there. A little detail lacking there. But this is pretty good here. Okay, so 29, 27. We got here 1,300. Pretty blown out there. Missing some features. Not too horrible, but. And that's cool. One last one here for 1,000. And yeah, the dye is pretty gone on that one. That's kind of like mine that I already have. Not too bad on the back, but yeah, it's still kind of wore down. Different mint mark here. Alright, so those were the different listings on this site. And the coin I am looking at is this one. We're on Harlan J. Burke's site. And we're going to put in a bid for this coin. It says next acceptable bid 2,200. So let's see. Let's see if this submits. For bid 22, are you the highest bidder? Yes. So we'll see if this holds for another hour and 45. Alright, so a few things about this coin I thought were interesting. If we go here to Numista, and it talks about this coin a bit. This is a nice example of that coin. And talks about it being currency from 550 to 330. And here it shows what the lettering reads in Aramaic. So we got Baltars and Mazios. And something I thought was interesting on this page, it had a few examples. This was the nicest one. And it still has a few problems. But a nice example. But what I noticed here was it says Numista Rare Index 91. This index is based on the data of Numista members collectors. It ranges from 0 to 100, 0 meaning very common coin or banknote, and 100 meaning a rare coin or banknote among Numista members. 91, that's a pretty good reading for rarity. And no member from this site currently wants to exchange it. Then if we look at this site here, Collectors Society, we have another example. It's a good example. It's missing a little from his face, and we got it looks like a missing area from the die, chip out of the die or something. But looks like MGC gave it a mint state 5 of 5 for strike and a surface of 4 of 5. So you can still have problematic and still get mint state because of, we're talking thousands of years, and you get, a chip out of a die or this or that, and still get a strike as it was when it was first struck. And in that condition, and that's how you're ending up that. That's why they have some of these extra things as well. But there was some interesting information here. Okay, so I'm over here on NGC Collectors Society, and this is the owner's comments of this nice coin here. And I found something really interesting that, for me, aligns kind of with my way of thinking, because I don't necessarily think I would probably align with very many people on these coins. The way I view them, I kind of came at them from an odd angle, so I probably see them a little differently. But so far, it's like this I find aligns well, and it's very interesting with the way what I'm seeing in the coins. And so, let's see, I need to probably start a little bit earlier. So during this period, as part of the Achaemenid Empire, the satrap of Cilicia had its own local ruler, a satrap governor. Is what a satrap is. In the mid-4th century, the satrap of Cilicia was Mazios. So this leader, this little ruler, was named Mazios, and his coin 385 to 328 BC, and this coin, a stater, was minted in Tarsus during his reign, probably between 361 and 334 BC. So the obverse of this coin depicts Baal, the god of Tarsus, with many alternate spellings, including Baltars, with the Aramaic legend Baltars. Baal is sitting on a throne with his body to the left and his gaze directly ahead. With his gaze directly ahead. In his left hand, a scepter with a lotus flower at its end. And in his right hand, he holds a bunch of grapes and a corn ear, not to mention a perched eagle. This imagery reflects Baal's many attributes. Okay, so here's what's interesting. Including association with fertility, agriculture, and the sky. Baal was a supreme god, and his Greek counterpart was Zeus. So basically that's saying that to Mazios, the supreme god, is Baal, but the Greeks would be calling that god Zeus, or the Greek supreme god was Zeus. And it says it is speculated that Mazios' Baal obverse design was the model for the Zeus reverse employed and widely circulated under Alexander the Great and his successors. So that was what I found very interesting. And and then I'll read the verso of this coin depicts the dramatic scene of a lion ferociously pouncing on the back of a bull. The bull is kneeling and the lion is in the process of taking a vicious bite. The imagery of the lion defeating a bull was prevalent in ancient Asia Minor and Mesopotamia, including on coinage. For example, the motif was employed on coins minted by Lydian king Croesus around mid-6th century BC. There are various hypotheses regarding the design meaning, and it may be that more than one was intended. One theory, and I don't believe this theory, but one theory is that the lion symbolized summer, which defeats the bull, a symbol of winter. Another view is that the lion symbolizes Baal, and the kneeling bull symbolizes Zeus, in this case conveying the message to the Greeks that our God is more powerful than yours. Whatever the minter's intent, the lion-bull iconography is impressive and makes a profound impact on the viewer. Indeed. So, yeah, I just found that quite interesting. But, I just am sometimes amazed at the imagery on these coins, and to me what they're saying. And to me it was very much in why they were putting these on the coins, and what they were saying for the time, and the way people, I think, would have seen them. And it's very interesting to look into. Anyway, all right, thanks guys. Catch you on the next one.